I'm not a Philly hater.
Why are we picking the Philly and the Jets? We're taking Philly?
No,
Who's taking the Jets?
I am.
Oh, boy.
I am.
Oh, boy. You take the Vikings and the Jets. I don't know what's going on with
It's
them.
all on me right now.
I'll tell you what. If Zach Wilson beats Philly, buddy, I'll buy you dinner next week. I'll put it right here for you so everybody can see it.
My name's Adonis, and that's Tyler. Welcome back to the podcast. Let's hop right
Between
into
the
this.
hash marks is what we are. Between the hash marks.
Sounds pretty good.
Start putting it on your wall.
I like it. We'll mull it over, but it sounds good for right now. So let's go ahead and hop into the hometown team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and what they're doing. Obviously, they captured a win, which is good. It's always good when the Jags
They
win.
played lights out, D.
They did.
They had 3 picks on the shoe return of the shoe.
Yeah, but you knew that the defense was going to feast on him. They were going to eat his lunch, and that's what they did.
I wish that offense, man, I wish the offense would get clicking, because if that team can get their offense clicking and get that defense where it is now, you might see the best team in the NFL, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah,
But they
that's
play
why
tonight.
I put them in my top 5, but they also lead the league in drop passes.
Well,
And that's kind of where
That's what I
when you
can't.
want to get that offense rolling, you can if they're dropping
The
passes.
offense isn't clicking, man.
Well, you just got
What's
to catch
up,
the
Kenny?
ball.
Thanks for tuning in, my man.
You just got to catch the ball.
Huh?
You just got to catch the ball.
I mean, the drop passes are out of control. And
Leading the league.
I understand. But if they start clicking, like, we know this isn't the Jags team. Like, we know their offense is what's supposed to carry them, not their defense. But now their defense is clicking. Their offense isn't clicking, so the defense has picked them up. And now, if the offense gets clicking, watch out.
Yeah, but
Danger. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
the Jags are supposed to dominate against an Anthony Richardson-less Indianapolis team and a Gardner Minshew-led team.
But they did what they were supposed to do.
Are they going to do what they're supposed to do tonight? Obviously, at the end of that game, Trevor Lawrence did go down. He did fall, take a bad tackle. He did leave the stadium with a brace on his knee. And Doug Peterson said, based on his workout tonight,
He's going to play.
they will see how he feels and if he's ready to go. I assume he'll play tonight too.
Is that 3 in a row for the Jags? They beat the Falcons. They beat the Colts. And they beat the Bills.
But some
3 in a row.
some fans need to understand, like, hey, your team is doing well, but don't become disrespectful. The Saints have a very good defense, and the Saints are
Defense.
they're one.
They have the same problem as
Offense.
the Jags right now. Their
Offense.
offense is struggling, and I
Offense.
thought they would click a little better. I thought Carr with Mike Thomas coming back and Olave, but I watched them against Houston, and their timing's just off. They're just missing some things, and it's like Carr went off on the sidelines. He was yelling at the offensive coordinator. He wasn't happy about things that were going down. So coaching
That's
has
never
always
good.
been the issue with the
Coaching.
Saints
Mhm.
because Dennis Allen's not very good. I think he's 18-41 or something like that. Some insane number. How he still has a job, I do not know. But I don't think Carr was yelling at him personally. He was yelling at him that we need to get this right because we're too talented. So this game is very intriguing to me tonight.
Yeah, that's the Thursday night football game hosted on Amazon Prime. It features the Jacksonville Jaguars, the hometown team, baby, against the New Orleans Saints. And we'll be looking at that game. I believe it starts at 8:20. We're trying to see the game is minus 1 point, which goes to say that the Saints are going to put up a fight and the Jags need to keep doing what they're doing.
They say you get 3 points for being the home team. It's a 1 point. They expect the Jags to win this game. If it was on neutral field, Jags would win. I think the Jags are the more talented team, but that dome is different. That Superdome that does some things. It gets loud. I've been there. It's very impressive. I was there for a playoff game, and Kurt Warner got laid out. I'll never forget when Kurt Warner got laid out that game. I bet he won't forget it either. But
Any predictions on this game as far as defensive takeaways, big games? Who's going to really show up tonight to play?
man, I like been trying to think. I've been thinking of this game all day long, and like I can't give you a clear cut winner right now. It's kind of insane. Like I can't
Really?
give you a clear cut winner. I could see it going both ways. Both offenses are struggling, not scoring. Both defenses are playing well. And Carr's numbers are not bad, but he's getting sacked a ton because that offensive line can't block anybody.
He's been sacked 17 times this year. 17 times. That's a lot through 7 weeks.
And Josh Allen off that edge, I mean, they're going to have to go a quick passing game, but once again, I watched them and they were going down for a game-winning drive. And the Houston Texans, when usually teams like they play that prevent, they didn't play the prevent. The Texans blitzed and blitzed and blitzed, and they couldn't pick it up. So I don't know. They may not be able to pick. Like I said, I'm going to take the Saints.
Really?
I think the
What
Saints.
about you just said momentum, 3 games in a row.
Short week.
Trevor Lawrence is going to play.
Short week. Jags traveling to New Orleans. Trevor is going to play. Trevor a little beat up. I think it's going to be a very, very hard fought football game. Could be one of those 20-17 kind of games, and maybe a field goal wins it.
Okay.
So I'm going to take the Saints tonight.
I'm not
happy about it. I like the Jags, but
I'm not going to disagree with you at all. A questionable Trevor Lawrence does not make me feel well, right?
Short week, questionable Trevor Lawrence is brutal. I mean, that knee, maybe he can't run as much. Maybe his mobility's not as much there. Could affect him because that defense can get after you.
Exactly. Maybe it's kind of similar to the Mahomes situation coming into the Super Bowl. You knew his ankle was bothering him. He still played, obviously, because it's the Super Bowl, but you could tell he was favoring that ankle. He couldn't scramble like he normally does. Who's to say this knee irritates Trevor Lawrence throughout the game today, and it could potentially cost you a game playing through an injury?
Oh, we got a Carr sucks hater on the board. Look at him. Carr sucks. I keep telling this guy that it takes time.
It doesn't take time.
It takes time. The Dolphins started off 0-8 last year.
But it doesn't take time. Derek Carr's thrown for over 4,000 yards every year he's been in the league. It doesn't suck.
But
I
he
think
needs to be better in the red zone. His red zone
Sure.
numbers need to be better.
I just think the word sucks is very strong.
That's who he is. I know that guy.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're watching and I know you're laughing right now, but I'm telling you, this dude, I've seen Carr play. He's had MVP type seasons. Like, I think it's a timing issue, a coaching issue. I think it's kind of an everything issue. But it's just the little things going together, and I still think they get it together, and I still think they're going to win tonight, 2017.
He almost threw for 5,000 yards.
Oh yeah,
that year.
No doubt about it. I mean, he has put up the numbers. He's been in this league.
Look at that.
Don't disagree. He had an MVP year until he broke his leg. He's had a lot of coaching, a lot of coaching staffs. And this one is right up there with one of the worst. I'm not going to lie.
And it's not fair to him because this man he's a leader. He's a leader.
And
he's put together a body of work that is indicative of him not only being a great quarterback over the past 7 or 8 years.
Good seeing you, brother. I hope your poker game going strong, my man.
But now you can start to put him in the conversation of like, hey, man, like if the Hall calls, is he ready? I mean, he's still got a ways to go. He's still got 4, 5, 6 more years to play. But these stats here,
he's got the potential. It is there. There's something I'm missing there. I'm going to watch it tonight. We're going to see. Does it finally get together? But both offenses seem to be struggling at the moment. And on top of that, I think it's just new team, Derek Carr. Do they get it together? Do they not? I don't know, man. I think they do get it together, and I do think they win tonight. I think the Saints are going to still win in that division without a problem.
Yeah, I think they're going to be fine. I'm going to take the Saints over the Jaguars. I'm a little troubled about that Trevor Lawrence knee issue, but I guess we'll just have to watch the game and find out. So
I actually picked the Saints and the Jags as my bowl this year. That's the first time I've ever said that. So this could be my Super Bowl preview, according to me, at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's keep
rolling. I don't think looks so good right now. Anyways,
so what's next up?
Let's go ahead, man. Let's get into your news segment that you want to talk about.
Oh, yeah. So something that I kind of saw a few times this week is in big-time moments, when your team needs you, when your fan base needs you, where are you at?
Something people probably didn't notice in the situations.
Yeah. So
something I noticed because one of them has to do with my team.
So in that situation, I've kind of boiled it down to the segment being called When I Needed You the Most. And what that does is it follows players, coaches, whoever in their blunders throughout the week. So I got 3 this week. I'll probably have more next week because it's the NFL, but I have 3 this week. And first up is Devontae Parker.
Devontae Parker. Yo, I watched this play.
It was the Raiders versus the Patriots. You're marching down the field. You have a chance to win the game. You're in your own.
I think he was at the 20 when he threw that ball.
About the 20-yard line, and he threw a
The best pass Mac Jones ever thrown was an incomplete pass.
Probably the best pass we've seen all year.
100% was the best pass I've ever seen him throw. And Devontae Parker just dropped it. It hit him right in the hands between two defenders.
And he put it on him when his team needed him the most. The fan base needed him the most. Everyone needed him. If you were a Patriots fan and he dropped it.
You got to catch that shit.
You do. And I know he knew it when he walked to the sideline. Like, hey, man, I made a mistake. I messed up. Where were you at when they needed you?
I watched that game. And you know what the sick part about that is the Raiders ended up getting a safety in that game, and they ended up covering the spread. There was a guy who laid a $200 bet in Vegas when a 10-team parlay had the Raiders won the 10-team parlay for $200K.
That's
How good do you run?
That's pretty good.
That's going to be my new one. How good do you run? That's going to be my new segment.
That's really good. Rolling into number 2, Justin Herbert. Monday night?
It was Monday night.
Monday night. Once again, your team needs you. You're the quarterback. You are in charge. You are leading the charge. And you throw a pick to seal the game. When your team needed you, when the offensive line needed you, when the fan base needed you, when the lady that they brought on the Pat McAfee.
I mean, they talk about him like he's a Jesus and a God, and like he just doesn't win. I also think that's a coaching problem because Brandon Staley's not good either.
Exactly. We'll get there because I don't want to go off on a tangent too bad.
Sorry, I like to do that.
But Justin Herbert, when your team needed you the most, you fumbled the bag, you made him look bad, and it was inexcusable. So you're going to take the number 2 spot. But in the number 1 spot is not a player. It's a coach.
Ooh.
Good old
I think I know who it is.
Brian Daboll. The New York Giants going into halftime. You have a chance to stun. Because let's be honest, we all thought they could win the game.
At that point, if they score a touchdown in that specific, they're up by two tutties going into the halftime. And the Bills had done absolutely nothing on offense.
Not only that, the defense was playing well. So, Daboll, when your team needed you the most, going into halftime on your on their 2-3 yard line, you run the ball with no timeouts. You can't blame any players. I mean, you are the leader of the team.
So I'm going to be devil's advocate here. Tyrod Taylor's been in this league a long time. A long time. He knows damn well that you can't run them. So apparently the offensive coordinator, it's an option play. And if the quarterback sees something, he can switch to a run. But in that situation, like, first of all, Tyrod should know. Second of all, this is what I'm going to blame him and the coach. The coach should tell him, you're throwing this ball. There is no option.
That's what I'm saying. There should never even be an option.
Once again, the Giants, the blunder, but that's why they're the Giants. And that's why they have one win. But
they played that game so well.
Also, a situation, a problem I have. Everyone knows you're going to throw the ball. You're supposed to throw the ball. Everyone knows that. Why is Tyrod Taylor under center? Tyrod Taylor should be in the shotgun. There's no reason Tyrod Taylor should be. He works better out of the shotgun. He always has. And in that situation, you have to throw the ball 3 downs. He should never be under center. He should never give him the option. But Tyrod Taylor's been a veteran in this league. He can't make that play.
So, Mr. Daboll, City of New York, when they needed you the most,
you let them down.
Where were you?
You let them down.
Those are my top 3 when I needed you the most moments from this past
paid millions of dollars to make the dumbest call in America.
There will be plenty in week 7.
Welcome to the Josh McDaniels dumpster fire. That's where you belong now.
I'm pretty sure I'll put him in the when I needed you the most.
He'll be there 17 times this year.
All right, let's roll into the games of the week.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm starting. We're starting with the Vegas and the Bears, baby, because my man's getting his chance. My man is getting his chance. Tyson Bagent is going to start for the Chicago Bears this week against the Raiders. Tyson Bagent, if people that don't know him,
he's the biggest Tyson Bagent fan in the world.
I love it because underdogs, man, the underdogs. I root for the underdogs. Once again, I'll say it before. He had 0 recruits. No one wanted him. He was 0-star recruit coming out of high school. And he went to D2 and he broke every record known to man. And then he comes into the NFL. He doesn't get drafted. So now you're an undrafted Division II rookie. It's easy to be like, I have no shot.
The odds are stacked against you.
Of course, the odds are stacked against. And there was 4 quarterbacks in camp for the Chicago Bears. So he beat 2 other guys for that job, and now he's got a chance to take. I mean, he could literally take Fields' job. Fields has done nothing phenomenal. And Tyson came in last week. He did get strip sacked, and he did throw a pick. But on the pick, he was hit, and the strip sack by the Vikings was a very good play on defense. But this kid he can sling it, and he comes from a dad who's a champion of arm wrestling. When you come from a championship pedigree of people, I think it matters. You have more resilience. You're just better for the moment. So I'm rooting for him. I want him to play well. I wish his first game went against my Raiders. But what I want is an ideal situation would be 31-30. Raiders win on the last second field goal and basically that's a monster game. Do I think that's ever going to happen? Absolutely not, because if we ever score over 20 points in a game, I'd be completely shocked. And the only reason we've scored over 20 once this year is because we got a safety. We had 19 points. We got in the red zone 6 times. We scored 1 tutty. 1. You can't tell me, and you have Devontae Adams and you throw the ball to him 4 times. 4. He's one of the best wide receivers in the league. Give the man the rock. I believe in my Raiders, and I'm going to take them because I don't think the Bears are good. But I want Tyson to have a great game, and I want him to take the reins, and I want him to take Fields' job, and I want them to the underdog, the Division II rookie, undrafted, comes in, 0-star recruit, and he earns his position. That's what I'm hoping for. So go Tyson, go Raiders.
I will say, first of all, the coming up to the week, obviously a lot of news outlets have gotten a hold of Tyson Bagent and have dug into his life. So they're putting out little factoids about him and who he is because he's going to be the starter this week. I already knew his dad was an arm wrestling champion thanks to this guy. So that was pretty cool. But going into this week, last week, a little gem is that Tyson Bagent went up to the offensive coordinator and said, listen, whatever you would have called for Justin, call for me. I know the playbook. I can get the job done. I like the confidence.
Oh, buddy, when let me tell you something. As an undrafted rookie and you make the league and at Division II, you got confidence. Because you don't make it in this world, you don't make it in that league without confidence, especially when it's stacked against you. So I'm rooting for him, man. I think he comes from a good pedigree, a good family.
He's got a big arm.
Everyone was calling his throw to DJ Moore in the end zone a duck. He was hit, guys. I mean, you can see it. He was hit when he threw it. It wasn't a duck. He was hit. He does have a big arm, and he can sling it all over the field.
Yeah,
he looks professional on his interviews, and I love it. He said, "What's the difference?" They asked him what the difference was between because this time last year he was getting ready for the D2 semifinals. I asked him what the difference was, and he said, "I just think we'll have a little better game plan this week." So good for him, man. I'm rooting for you, buddy.
I'm probably going to pick the Bears here. I think.
Tyson, take it, Tyson. I like it. I wouldn't even
from the little shades of what I saw from him, he seems very confident in the pocket. He seems like he knows what he's doing. He moves it all out there on the field.
He moves well.
There's just a certain level of smoothness to him. And I think even if you're a Chicago Bears fan, those little shades, that small amount of gameplay that you saw from him, you're like, man, I really like.
He threw some good balls. I was very impressed with his first game as undrafted.
He can move. He's like 6'6".
He was thrown to the fire. Now he gets to play with the ones. I like it. Let's see what we can do.
You're going to take the Raiders. I'm going to take the Bears. Let's roll into next game.
All right, baby. Let's go Detroit, Baltimore. I think the Lions are the best team in football. I'm going to say it, and I'm taking the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are playing defense and they're playing offense. Now, they do have some injuries at the running back spot. I hope Jahmyr Gibbs is back. All 3 of the running backs are banged up.
Yeah, hamstring.
Montgomery will not be playing.
He's done?
Not this week. He will not be playing. He's out for multiple weeks from what I understand.
Oh, multiple weeks.
Rib injury. Hammy for Jahmyr Gibbs. But Gibbs, they said it's leaning towards a return, but you know how those hammies can jump up. And Craig Reynolds, the other running back, is ankle problems. So
who's running the football?
They think Gibbs is going to return, but who knows?
Hamstring decides when.
But honestly, I don't even think it matters because they're just playing football. Jared Goff looks like a top 5 quarterback in the league.
He does, but I don't want you or anyone else to get too excited and discount the Ravens. Ravens are playing excellent defense, and they're gonna need Aiden Hutchinson and whoever's on the other side of that ball to seal those edges up, because once Lamar gets loose,
all you gotta do is protect him, keep him in the pocket. And Hutch is a different man. He's a grown man out there. I mean, that dude. On Thursday night in the Chiefs, on the first opening game, I watched that dude. He was living in the backfield with Mahomes. Literally, sometimes looked like he was under center with him. I mean, it was wild. He might have been in the huddle sometimes. They didn't even realize it. Because when they broke the left tackle was cheating, and they still couldn't stop him. And he was cheating.
The left tackle was cheating.
He was cheating. He was literally so far off the ball, and they wouldn't call it. But he was cheating, and they couldn't block him. Couldn't block him. I mean, you can't block somebody when you're cheating. When can you block him?
He's going to need that exact kind of pass rushing.
I believe in the Lions, man. They made me believers. Jared Goff is slinging it. Jameson Williams is back. They got all the receivers. Armand St. Brown. I mean, these guys.
Amon-Ra's good.
Amon-Ra is no
Amon-Ra
joke.
is really good.
I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to
take
say
the
that I took the Lions.
I'm going to take the Lions. I'm going to take
taking the Baltimore Ravens.
I'm going to take the Lions, but I don't want. I mean, the Lions have really great culture in their locker room.
Give me the Lions. Dan Campbell, the fighting Dan Campbells.
Yeah,
he's out there biting ankles and biting legs. Give me that guy. I want the guy, animal, stone animal. He's Lou. He would lift up. He might throw a ball over the mountain like Rico.
But the one thing about it is when you look at the other side, the other guys that you're playing, their locker room is the same way. Harbaugh, Justin Tucker last week, he had 6 field goals.
I know they can't score either. No one can score.
They gave him the game ball, and he said, "Listen, you guys are the ones that get the job done. I appreciate you guys for giving me an opportunity to contribute."
Are the defenses just like catching on to these offenses better, or are we letting them play a little bit more? Because only 2 teams scored over 26 points last week, and I love it.
Ravens have a really good defense.
I'm saying in general, only 2 teams in the NFL scored over 26 points last week.
Really?
2 teams. The Dolphins were one of them.
Dolphins are always going to be a team.
And I can't remember who the other one was, but everyone else was 26 points or less. So I can't figure out, is the defense like catching on to these new offenses, or are the refs just letting them play a little bit? I'm very intrigued by what everyone else thinks about that.
So we'll both take the Lions for that game. Who's up next?
Chargers, Chiefs. Chiefs, Chargers. Chargers. Go Chargers.
Who do you think in that game?
I mean, I'm taking the Chiefs because, Brian, I'm taking the best coach. And it's Andy Reid. Oh boy, we have a visitor.
What we got going on over here?
You know what? I want you to give me 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
And describe the Giants' performance, not just that halftime run, the Giants' performance against the Bills. And you as a fan, are you satisfied with what you're seeing so far?
This is the most disappointing season, like probably my entire life. Outside of the Kent Graham era, back in the mid-'90s, this is crap. This is like, if I'm envious of the Lions, that's how bad it is.
To be fair, everyone's envious of the Lions right now.
I mean, who has it worse than the 3 of us?
I mean, we're 3-3, but we're the worst 3-3. I can
and you can say all the blown call on Darren Waller that should have been holding passion over. That doesn't matter. That first half play
dominated.
It was
to be up 6-0.
And somehow, with 14 seconds left, no timeouts at the 1, they say,
we should run it.
Let's run it. We don't want to do 4 shots in the end zone. Why would we do that?
Who would ever want to do that?
Let's run it once.
So who do you put that blame on? I put the blame on both. Tyrod's been a veteran quarterback in this league. He knows he can't run the ball there. And then you have Dabo and his offensive coordinator. I don't know. Did they not tell him that you shouldn't switch this play? He said it was an option play.
I had to. I don't know. I don't get why Tyrod didn't like do an audible and just do like a.
Well, he audible to a run.
It was not. And here's
it
the thing.
A good audible.
I'm going to let you know, Tim, I was rooting, man, what I watched, it was masterful because I'm like, it's been such a tough year.
Bad.
and the defense was all up in Josh Allen's
Can I
lunch.
say Bobby Akira K played lights
Oh,
out in that
he
ball
was-
game?
I was like, where did this defensive
Bobby
MVP come from?
Akira K was
He did-
all over the field that
He
game.
did more than Thibodeau.
I was watching. It was impressive. I mean, he was
So that's what I'm
everywhere.
saying. When I watched that first half, I'm like, I know how you struggled. Daniel Jones is out. You got $140 million out in the ether, and your defense is showing up. They're in the backfield. They can't score. They can't get down the field. I don't think they crossed the 50 for the first half of the game. And then the blunder heard round one.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even talk about it. He went into halftime. They were trying to have an
No,
interview. He said,
no,
"I can't even
no.
talk about this. I can't do it."
He had. I don't think Dayball saw that coming. Like I don't think.
Oh, he lost his mind.
Yeah, because
was
he
not happy.
threw the headset down. He did
He
like
cussed it everywhere.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
why is he throwing the headset when you're the head
You're
coach?
the head coach.
You make
True.
those decisions.
Yes.
Who you mad at? Yourself? Huh? You want to go punch the steering wheel?
I think
Like, what's
what
going
he was
on?
expecting was run it once, we don't get it, then spike it, kick the field goal.
Yeah, but you don't have enough time to run it and spike it.
Maybe. I mean, they were standing around for 3
You don't.
seconds.
You
You
don't.
know damn well that they're going to
No,
lay
there
on
wasn't
you.
gonna
Know
be-
people
there
are
wasn't
going to
gonna
lay
be a
on
chance.
you.
They're gonna lay on
They're
top of
gonna do-
you.
they're
They're
gonna-
gonna make sure you
yeah.
don't get
They're
up.
going to treat you like you're their
So-
ex-wife. Like,
really quick, Tim, before we let you get back out there and
Lose
take
more
care
money.
and take care of those poker
Yeah.
streets, what do you expect from the rest of the year from your New York Football Giants?
I expect
are you
them.
guys getting Caleb Williams?
No,
There's just no hopefuls.
no.
There's nothing to look forward to.
I think they're going to get that one QB from UNC.
Wait, hold
I like
on.
Drake.
No,
I think-
no.
I like
Stop,
Drake May.
stop.
I like Drake
Why
May.
are we talking about getting quarterbacks when you got a guy on the hook for $140 million?
Well, because he didn't throw touchdowns.
Doesn't you don't just give out $140 million. So what's going
Well,
on?
technically, the contract's only $80 million.
Okay.
So
Because you got
after,
to perform, right?
because after the 2 years, they can just cut him, then owe him anything.
So who you drafting?
Yeah, I mean, I assume.
I mean, well, yeah, apparently the word on the street is if Caleb Williams gets drafted, he wants part owner of the team.
Yeah,
He thinks
that's-
he's that good.
he's
He's out of his mind.
he's
He's a lunatic.
That's a whole other
He's a
conversation.
lunatic. I would
But
rather take Drake May.
the
If I'm
amount-
gonna hear
yeah.
that stupid
Yeah,
stuff,
When I
don't want
heard
that
that,
stuff.
the amount of lunacy I thought was just absolutely astounding.
You're not that good. You haven't thrown a ball in the NFL. What makes you?
But we'll get there.
And you just came
who
off
do
the
you-
worst career game of your
Who do
life.
you want to draft? Who do you want?
I don't know his name, but the QB from
Drake,
UNC.
Drake May
Drake May. Yeah,
One
Drake May.
Drake May.
comes from a very good family. Once again, championship pedigree family. That's the guy you want. I don't want the guy who wants part ownership of my team.
And-
who just threw 3 picks to lose to Notre Dame. I don't need that smoke.
And
Give me Drake
also,
May.
I don't want the quarterback that came from USC because you know who's the best quarterback ever to come out of USC?
Matt Leinart.
Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
But then it's Matt Leinart. That's not good.
That was the guy that came out. But was he good?
But that's it. Like those.
He was also a lunatic. He was out partying
Yeah.
and doing all kinds of weird stuff. He was doing the college
Well, listen,
football
Tim,
stuff.
to have a franchise that has you down in the dumps, to say the least, is upsetting. But hopefully, you guys can somewhat turn the season around. Dable can try to get himself together in those big crunch time decisions,
Yeah.
and hopefully, you can have a good year, man.
I'm hoping down him for early draft pick, and that's it.
Well, you're getting that.
Yeah, because
No doubt.
That's-
You're getting that.
they're not going to trade up. I know that. So what's the point of winning?
Well, hopefully, you guys have a bad year, so you guys
Yeah,
can draft
I mean,
and have some prosperity in the future.
The best game I just saw him play, and they did win, so it's going to be tough to win.
yeah.
That's the best game I saw him play.
Well, I appreciate you, Tim, for stopping by.
I appreciate being here, guys. Thank
Take care of
you.
yourself.
Time, buddy.
Yes,
And,
of course.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but go G-Man.
Go G-Man.
Go,
Yeah.
Giants. Go Giants. Go.
All right, that was great. That was Tim Shufflebeam.
Stopping by.
He is a commentator for Best Bet Live. If you just so happen to like poker, you guys can stop by Best Bet Live.
He also
on
deals a
YouTube
live stream.
and look
He'll
at those
probably
guys.
burn in term once or twice, something like that.
It's all good. So who was the picks of the week? Where do we stop? Chargers.
Chargers, Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs.
All right, we'll
I
just
like
make
Andy.
this nice and
I'm
quick.
taking Andy Reid.
All right, so you're going to take the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Chiefs. Chargers are looking to rebound after a disastrous performance
Brandon Staley
in
sucks.
Dallas, or rather,
He's
I guess.
terrible.
Who's this?
Brandon Staley. He might be the worst coach in the NFL.
I mean,
He's not the worst, but he's up there with McDaniels, and he's up there with Dennis Allen. He's up there with all the bums.
yeah, and
He's an analytical coach, and he always goes for it on 4th down, and they never get it.
no, and Kellen
Never
Moore,
get it.
him and Kellen Moore are like one and the same. He's the mastermind.
I
The
think
offensive
they are
mastermind.
molding Kellen Moore to take his job.
It's possible. I don't think Kellen Moore is adept to be a head coach. I think
I don't either,
when
but you know what?
there were 6 vacancies for head coaching jobs and he didn't land one, that means something. That your interviewing skills might not have been the best. I think being a leader of men is very important.
It's hard.
Which is why
Kellen
it just
Moore
so
does look like
happens-
he takes a back seat.
He
Like,
does, man.
He doesn't,
He does.
doesn't have that like leadership.
No,
strong.
Which is why
What Mike McDaniels doesn't either.
just so happens Tim was up here. Joe Judge fell flat on his face. He was not a leader of men. Everyone needs to strive to be Dan freaking Campbell. Just be him.
Campbell.
Just work out as much as he does. Whatever it is that he's doing, you do it.
You want to be Dan. When you see Dan Campbell, you're just like, he will lead me the right
That's all I
direction.
want to do.
And
That's all I wanna do.
they love him and they play for him. And
With
that's
that
what
being
it's all
said,
about.
Chiefs over Chargers.
Andy Reid,
So,
best coach in the NFL, he beats the Chargers. The
Who's
Chargers stink. Miami and Philly, game of the week, in my opinion, at Philly. Miami, once again, I've talked about this in the past. Miami has not played anybody of a caliber defense, but they have played up to, they beat everyone they're supposed to beat. And the one team they played was Buffalo in Buffalo, and they got trampled.
I mean,
I like Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia's going to be able to run the ball. And I think that offensive line is going to take over that game. And that's the difference.
really.
I think wearing out the Miami defense is the difference for the Philadelphia Eagles.
So last week, obviously, the Jets defense gave Jalen Hurts all he could handle and some. Coming into this week, you're going to face a defense that's probably not as good as the Jets, but on par. You're going to have a monster defensive line. Cornerbacks are going to be absolute savages. They're looking to intercept Jalen Hurts. They know he's playing down this year, so they know, there are teams that you face where, for example, if you're the Minnesota Vikings, really quick, JJ out, teams can now gameplay differently.
Oh, yeah.
Those kind of players, when they step on the field, coaches, players begin to immediately game plan just for that player. Jalen Hurts was that last year. He could get out of the pocket. He could make you hurt on the ground. He could make it hurt through the air. He could read your defense. He's not playing like that this year. So teams are like, well, you know what? He's a man after all. He bleeds red blood just like me.
Of course.
So this Miami defense is going to be looking to get the same amount of takeaways that the Jets did last week and hopefully win the game. I'm going to take the Eagles this week. I think with that loss last week, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown going in that locker room, taking responsibility.
That was the worst game we'd ever seen Hurts.
That was the worst game we've ever seen from him. And I think they
And
addressed
don't
their
forget,
blunders. And I think
now that we're
do
going
what
to bring that up, next week, Adonis will be sitting here eating his steak in front of me that I now owe him because I said if the Jets beat the Eagles,
But it's over.
and I will eat my words, and I'll eat them right now, just like he's going to eat my steak.
Oh,
My steak that I'm going to provide you, and you can eat it right in front of me and laugh at me and enjoy every bit of it. How you like it? How you like your steak done?
there's
Just
a
out
lot
of
of
curiosity.
funny content for this week. First of all,
You like-
medium rare. It's fine.
Okay.
Honestly, have fun with it. I'll make sure I'm hungry. This week, though, I'm going to take Philly. I think they're going to bounce back. I think with the players, it's when you get in the locker room after the game and the coach breaks it down, it's different when the players break it down. Nick Sirianni didn't even have to break it down. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts all broke it down and took the accountability for their mistakes and them losing that game.
And that's what it takes. I mean, that's what it takes in the league. Accountability is such a strong word. You can't put blame on everyone else. You have to. Everyone made mistakes in game. It's the most team game there is. Everyone made mistakes. So at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts made the biggest mistake. You can't throw that pick there at the end. You have to make Zach Wilson beat you. You can't beat yourself. The Jets' best part of their team is their defense. So if you're going to let their best part of their thing beat you and you don't have to, all you do is throw it away, punt the ball, and then make them try to score. And
you should be going
Zach
down
Wilson,
the field for 40
I'll
yards
take my chances.
on a 4th and 8. You should not be going down the field for 35 yards. Just shouldn't be happening. Philly over the Dolphins. That's what I'm doing. That's what
I
I'm
think
taking.
that offensive line and DeAndre Swift and Jalen Hurts and AJ. I think AJ Brown he's different.
He's turning-
He's a stud.
He's turning into a prima donna, though, and I don't like it.
He has been getting very vocal this year.
But he gives me that Stephon Diggs kind of
but
energy.
Is it being a diva or is he being more of a leader? I haven't seen him in the. He hasn't been outspoken about saying Jalen Hurts is this, Jalen Hurts is that.
He hasn't. But when you're on that field, there are probably 150 cameras on. So if it's a 3rd and 7, Jalen Hurts misses the slant route, and you're talking about, come on, Like, we know that you're upset with your quarterback because he missed the throw.
I do
Rather,
see some
there's a
frustration,
certain
which is weird.
and there's a certain level of professionalism that's warranted at this level of football. Like, get back to the huddle. Understand not everybody can play perfect football. Hey, Devontae Smith, you drop balls too, man. Like, you dropping passes, man. Come on.
Instead of complaining, let's fix it. And that's how everything should be done. Let's fix it and not complain. And I've been seeing Josh Allen complain to the refs a lot. That's getting on my nerves too. We ain't even going to talk about that.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
But I think, once again, pick this week is Philadelphia over Miami. Philadelphia runs the ball, wins the game. Tyreek Hill, I'm going to say Tyreek is under 100 yards this week. I think they're going to play
Why do
him
you
over the
think
top.
that?
I think they're going to play him over the top. I don't think they're going to give him a lot
So-
of one-on-one opportunity. Other teams need to be, but they haven't.
They're not going to give him. It doesn't matter what they want to give him. Darius Slay is going to want it. Darius Slay is a big time guy. He's going to want the matchup,
I know Darius Slay's going to play it.
and I think he's going to bite off more than he can chew.
I don't think
Whoever they
he's
got
still
back
there.
there.
I don't
If it's
think-
not Darius Slay, God pray for him.
Yeah, but like they're going to play defense. They're going to play over the top.
Play defense. Hide what you want. You do understand that he goes right past the
I
safety
mean,
to
Darius
the
Slay's
play.
hurt. I don't know if he's going to play.
That's what's even worse.
I understand, but I'm just saying that they're going to help over the top with Tyreek Hill. They're not going to pull the Giants defense and have your slowest corner man-to-man cover zero.
Or have Preston Smith in coverage against Devontae Adams.
So
Ooh,
stupid.
ooh. I don't know why they did that.
Who did?
That's 2 weeks ago. Raiders vs. Packers. Preston Smith was lined
Oh, yeah,
up
I
in
did see that.
coverage.
He was.
My man was not in a 3-point, 4-point, 9-point, or
He put-
14-point stance. He was on both legs.
And Adams put him on skates.
Devontae Adams made one move.
Put him on
Frozen.
skates.
Looked like Frozone out there. Where's my super suit, honey? I need to know where my super suit
While we're
is.
talking about that, let's talk about the Browns defense that no one's talking about. Holy
Wait, why is no
smokes.
one talking about it?
I don't know.
Statistically, they're the number one defense in the league.
Not are they the number one defense in the league. They're putting up stupid statistics against the pass in a pass heavy. Like, we're in an era where passing the ball is like a big deal. They're giving 121 yards a game passing.
That's ridiculous.
Passing.
That's
They're
what's
passing
the
it
word? That's unfathomable.
121, and they just come off a big win with PJ Walker as their quarterback. PJ Walker, he got beat out by Tyson Bagent for his job.
So imagine when a very mediocre $230 million guaranteed contract quarterback like Deshaun Watson comes back. They don't need him to be amazing. Like,
He's annoying
what they
me.
wanted was for him to be good. He's not.
I don't
Not right
why-
now.
What is wrong with Deshaun Watson? He
I
keeps saying
couldn't
he's
tell you.
injured. Oh, I'll be back, but he's being a pansy.
Apparently he's gonna play this week.
Well, he's a pansy.
Um,
He keeps saying I'm coming back, guys. Anybody know I'm not playing today?
yeah, but when the Browns defense is playing as well as they
Maybe he
are,
needs new fingers in some certain spots. If you guys know what I mean. Maybe he needs a little more. He needs to send him to the massage part a little bit. Maybe that'll help him
you
play a
know,
little bit.
maybe he just
Maybe that's what he just needs a massage.
Maybe he just has some kinks that he can
He
work.
needs some knots. He's got some knots in there.
I mean, he's a very sick man. I can say that much.
I mean,
But he needs to worry about the football.
I shouldn't joke about that.
But he's not.
That's-
He's not playing football well. That's the point. Whatever it is that he needs to do, whether it be meditation, whether it be working on his craft, we know what Deshaun Watson's capable of.
Are
We've
the
seen it.
Browns' defense as
No.
good as the Ravens' defense back in 2000? At this moment, they're pretty close. By the
They're
numbers, they're
close.
very close.
They're close week 7.
And in a different era on top of that. I mean, it was 20 years ago.
We
We're in a
got-
pass happy league, and these guys are giving 100.
We got another. We got another 10
What
weeks
is it
of
about
football.
when everyone goes to Cleveland, they just can't play football? It's like weird. I don't know if it's the air. I don't know what it is.
You just said what it was. The Browns D. They can't play
No,
defense.
but like even like they're like Deshaun Watson hasn't been the same since being in Cleveland. It just everyone looks slower in Cleveland. I don't know. It's weird. They look like they don't know what's going. Like it's just like I think no one ever wants to be in Cleveland. So like when you're in Cleveland, you're just like down in the dumps and you just don't want to play.
Maybe that's what it is. I will say this much: their defense is putting them in positions to be competitive.
With the air
keep
out there
them in
in
the
Cleveland and stuff,
conversation.
and that nasty river they got back there and all that stuff. Why don't they have a dome?
Maybe they should have took some of that $230 million.
Get you a
invested.
dome and call it the Dog Pound. Come into the Dog Pound. Get you a dome.
Those marketing ideas they should have thought of. Instead, they allocated all that money towards
all
a
this,
man.
all this money, like, come on, man, get a dome.
I don't know what they're doing.
No one wants to see Cleveland's air. It's not healthy for anyone. Everyone probably dies every year, every
No,
time they
it's
play football out there.
But their team's staying competitive. If you're a Browns fan, you got to be happy. Like, things are happening the right way. Things are happening the way they should. You want to work out the quarterback position. You want to make sure you can get a guy who's consistent in that position. You hope it's Deshaun Watson. You need it to be Deshaun Watson. You desperately have to have Deshaun Watson step up. He's on the hook for a lot of money. He's probably not going to be going anywhere. But to the Browns D, my hat goes off to you guys. You guys are playing out of your minds. And hopefully that defense can keep them in the conversation for maybe even the playoffs this year.
I mean, I hope Deshaun comes back. Can P.J. Walker survive another one? I don't know. The Browns actually tried to give that game away. I don't know if you watched it, but the Browns were in range to score, and all they had to do was run the ball, kick a field goal, and they threw the ball, and P.J. Walker almost threw a pick. Some of these coaches.
So let's roll into a topic that I actually wanted to run over as well,
Talk to me.
and ask.
Talk to me about this.
So there's been a lot of discussion amongst myself, coworkers, sports enthusiasts, people who think they know sports. The loss the 49ers took on Sunday. Is Brock Purdy bad? And what I mean by that is, let me preface it by saying this.
We just talked about
For a
him.
long time, they all thought he was like a system quarterback, right? Like, oh man, like it's Kyle Shanahan, but you got to understand, like, it takes a little bit of talent to function in that
But
system.
listen. Hold up. Come on. We just talked about the Browns being the best defense in the league. Why are we blaming Purdy now for playing the best defense in the league?
I'm just asking. I'm just asking the
let's give it-
question. That's apparently the rumor mill
Listen,
is like,
I
hey
love-
man, Brock Purdy isn't the guy that we thought he
Listen,
was.
I love Kyle Shanahan, but why does George Kittle get 2 targets? 2 targets. 2. Buddy, George Kittle is one of the elite receiving tight ends in this game.
He had 3
he should
tutties. He had
not-
3 tutties the week before, right?
3 touchdowns. This week he had 2 targets. He had more touchdowns in the previous week than he had
So then
targets.
what's
this week.
wrong? If you lose Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey,
Why is he not in the game plan? I don't know what's going on. And to be fair, as bad as the Niners played in that game, Purdy took him down and got him in the range to make the game-winning field goal.
That's-
If they make that field goal, do you even say a word about it? Probably
That's-
not.
That's the remark I would make.
Jake-
To those asking the question, is Brock Purdy bad, right? You know, you don't have CMC, which he's not even arguable. It's not even arguable. It's not even debatable. Fight me if you want to.
He's been
CMC
turned
is the most important player in football right now.
course,
The most
100%.
important player.
No
So
doubt
you
about
do not have him
He's a receiver and running back all in one.
all in one.
And he can play quarterback.
And he can do it very good.
He
You
throws
don't
the ball
have
very well.
him. You don't have Debo. You still put your team within field goal range. Your kicker misses it. Is that
No,
on Brock Purdy? No.
No. And I mean, Kyle Shanahan's offense is also built around yak yards. By yak yards, I mean yards after catch. If people don't know what yak means. But yards after catch. So he throws a lot of screens. He throws a lot of short passes and lets his athletes be athletes. Like, that's what they're there for. If that
He
makes
has
Purdy look
athletes.
good, that's what he's doing. He's playing with what he's supposed to.
He has.
And he
athletes.
took them down and got them in range to win the game. They missed the field goal. If he don't miss that field goal, we don't even talk about this.
So
right now.
are we worried?
I'm
That's
not.
so
Not even a little bit.
in the question that I asked, are you worried? If you're
Not
a
even
49ers
a little
fan, are you worried about Brock Purdy?
Nope, not even a little bit.
Okay. I'll ask you the same question, but I'll change the team. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles.
Not
Are you
worried
worried
about
about Jalen Hurts?
Like I said, they have a new offensive coordinator at the moment, and I think they're just taking time to click. I mean, I think they'll get rolling. I don't think it's going to be I don't think they're like an elite team at the moment, but I'm not worried about Jalen Hurts.
Not at all. They'll turn it around.
I mean, they're 5-1. It's not like they're 0-5.
Well, and that's why I didn't address the team, because the team, you're right, the team is 5-1. But as an Eagles fan, like, you can't feel good that Jalen Hurts has the same amount of interceptions.
They were
as
so
he does
dominant
touchdowns.
last year. It's hard to be that dominant year in and year out.
Is
I mean,
it?
The NFL is let's face it, the NFL is a year-to-year kind of league. I mean, you don't see dominant teams besides the Chiefs and the Niners.
There we go.
It's
There
a
we go,
year-to-year
right?
league.
There
It's
we
a
go.
year-to-year league.
All of these great football minds, executives, and all these gurus and the guys who got the analytics and the statistics and all that, why haven't they found a way to do it with Patrick Mahomes?
I mean, Mahomes is a different player. I mean,
Okay, he's
You
cut
wanna-
from a different
I'll
cloth.
tell you what makes Mahomes so good is Andy Reid lets him be himself. By that, I mean, most coaches aren't going to let you throw no-look passes. I mean, there's not. Andy
No,
Reid
of
doesn't
course
care.
not.
Andy Reid doesn't care.
No, he doesn't.
To an extent, Andy Reid just lets him have personality show. And what happens is when you play with a personality,
Of course not letting him throw no-look
you play
passes.
confident. No. I'm just saying, like,
No,
as
you're right. You're
most
right.
coaches are going to be arrogant. And they're going to be like, "Don't
Do-
you ever do that again."
Do things my way.
Do
or
it
the
my
highway.
way.
Yeah.
But Andy Reid just lets their personalities play, which means they stop thinking, and people play better when they don't think. It's just it's
Which-
stone cold thing.
There is a reunion in the works because Cole Hardman is heading back to the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's a wild one.
They traded with the Jets for, I believe, a 7th-round pick.
I feel
Not
like
only
the Chiefs
that,
are like the new Patriots. Like they let their guys walk and then
just
they trade
bring
back.
them
some.
not only that, pass rusher Frank Clark worked out today, got a physical, and he might be back as well.
Good old Frank. I mean, this is what the Chiefs do. The Chiefs are the new Patriots. It's funny that the Patriots let J.C. Jackson walk to the Chargers last year, signs this huge contract. He's a bum for that team, and then they trade peanuts for him and get him back. So it's like this happens all the time. It's hilarious.
It's not going to have like a huge bearing on the offense, right? The offense will still run well. They'll still do their thing. They still don't have a dedicated wide receiver one, which they need desperately. But it's nice to have another speedster in the backfield, kind of like emulating Tyreek Hill. Not going to be close as to what Tyreek Hill brings to the Miami Dolphins, but they hope to kind of stretch the field.
I mean,
out.
they had high hopes for him to be that guy when Hill left, and he wasn't. But he does give you an extra. He gives him speed, and he understands that offense. And like I said, he'll make a few plays here and
Match
there.
made in heaven.
Yeah, he'll. Some guys just need a system. That's just how it works.
Okay, well, let's roll right into our last segment of the show. Our top 5 teams in the NFL. Has your list changed?
Oh yeah, I've got the Lions #1 team in the league. I know
Really?
everyone's going to say I'm crazy.
You playing,
Listen,
right?
I watched
Yeah, you're playing.
that team. I know they were playing the
You're
Bucks,
laughing.
but they were on the road. They went into Tampa.
You're wild.
Didn't
bro.
give up a touchdown.
You can't make them number
They didn't give up a
one.
TD.
They can't
Why?
be number
Because they're
one.
Detroit. It's a year-to-year league. I just said it, baby. And the
Ooh,
Detroit Lions are
The
number one.
list is fluid, right?
The
list is
Lions are
fluid.
the #1 team in football. I shouldn't have started with them. I should have went down the list, but I just can't help it. I'm so excited. The Lions are
So
number
what? You
one.
got KC too?
KC?
No,
No,
KC's
no.
Go ahead. You know what? Actually,
I'm going to put the
I'm
Dolphins.
sorry that I interrupted you. You give me your 5.
I'm going to put the Dolphins too. But that team is going to play the Eagles this week, and we're going to figure out what's what. And then I'm going to put the Niners below the Dolphins right now. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to probably put the Niners above whoever wins this game this week, next week. But whatever.
I'm just waiting to hear who 4 and 5 is.
4, I got the Eagles. And I like the Jags at 5. The Jags broke my top 5 this week. Even though I think they're going to lose.
I told you last week what you should have did. They should have broke the top 5 last week.
Well,
You
they
didn't
broke
listen to me.
But they broke the top 5. But they're in my top 5, but I think they're going to lose. That's why they're 5. Because I just don't like their situation with Trevor Lawrence being hurt this week. I know they say he's fine, like he's going to play and he's going to do that, but like it's a short week. Like those extra days matter.
Those extra days do
When you have an injury, those extra days matter. And maybe he's not as mobile. I don't know. Maybe he's fine. I don't know. We'll find out though.
Well, my top 5.
Just start with 5. I started
I'm
at
not.
1. Start at 5.
We'll start at 5 because, well, you crazy for number 1.
Detroit Lions.
Listen, so 5,
Dan Campbell's.
probably going to be, which let me just take a peek here because I don't want to mess this up. Probably
mess it up. I'd be
at
going
number 5, I'm going to probably end up putting the Jaguars. I'll put the Jaguars at 5.
We got the same 5.
I'm going to put the Dolphins at 4.
Okay. I respect that.
I'm going to put the 49ers at 3.
Oh, yeah.
Detroit Lions 2.
Ooh, but you call me crazy for putting them 1. Come on now.
You can't put them 1. You can't put them 1 because the defending champs they're still winning football games.
Yeah, but they haven't looked the greatest.
Doesn't matter.
The fighting Dan Campbells are beating up people.
Are they going to miss the playoffs?
Who?
Kansas City.
No.
Are they going to miss the
Are they going
division
to win their
round?
division? Yes.
Are they gonna miss the AFC Championship? Like all of these things are like all of these.
Maybe.
No, stop.
Maybe.
You know that's not true.
Why?
Because what did you just tell me? Their quarterback is what built different.
He is built different. But that don't make you game by game, buddy. Remember when the Cincinnati Bengals and they ended up going to the Super Bowl and no one ever thought that there was also Raiders that year and we're on 1. Nobody remembers that.
I remember that.
And I do
No,
too,
no,
and
I
very,
do.
very much so, and I don't like it.
But the point is that the Kansas City Chiefs have to be 1 because they're always going to do what it takes to win football games. The Eagles would have been a lot higher. They lost to the Jets this week. And there's still questions for me looming over Jalen Hurts. I'm not seeing this
Actually, Zach
whole turnaround
Wilson's kind
phase.
of getting a little better. But no, I get what you're saying. The turnaround phase. I understand.
But
I mean,
the list
it's
is
a-
fluid, so
it's-
those five might change next week. We got to see how this week shapes up.
It's a weird year. It's strange. I don't know. Like I watch football, just like the scoring's not like the defenses are getting better.
The games are a lot closer.
The games are getting better. The
Well, unless you're the
defenses
Denver
are closer.
Broncos.
Oh boy, they don't have anything. Also, Sean Payton, I was like congratulate you on the worst coaching job, second behind Nathaniel Hackett.
Take that, buddy.
What do you think about that, Sean? Oh man, I love it. Next week, I'm actually starting a new segment. It's going to be my fantasy studs of the week. I've been trying to put this together, so I haven't gotten to it yet. But I've gotten to a point. If you guys ever want to watch a video and laugh your ass off, go find me in this car wash commercial. Hilarious.
I'm gonna link it. I'm gonna link it. I'm gonna
You gotta
find
link it.
I'm gonna link it.
So I got this great idea that I was going to do a stud and sud of the week because the commercial I'm in was called Studs and Suds. So
I'm gonna link it.
my every week moving forward, we're going to have a little fantasy put together, and I'm going to have a stud and I'm going to have a sud for the week. It's going to be fun. It's going to be hilarious, and we're going to take this a little more in depth.
Oh man.
What's up, buddy? Not much,
You know
man. How we
what? No,
doing,
we
man?
got time. We got time. We got time. We got time. No. Come on around.
I'm
Come on
playing
around.
overhaul, man. I'm playing overhaul.
Are you?
Yeah. What's going on,
Man,
man?
we're good. I wanted to get this devout
Cowboys,
Cowboys
baby.
fan.
To the end. We winning the Super Bowl. Yes. I'm one of them.
That's
Cowboy
how you
fans.
know he's a
Every year.
Cowboys fan.
Every year I'm gonna say we gonna win the Super Bowl.
Drugs are real strong out here.
Crack is a hell of a drug.
We're gonna have him on. We're gonna have him on next week.
Old
Devout.
Tex.
Here's the thing, man. Cowboy fans know football, right? Like they know football about their team, so that's what makes them qualified to have an opinion. This man's been a Cowboys fan his entire adult life, what 40 years?
Problem with the Cowboys
Is
fans
what
is
he
still
just said.
living in the 90s.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said.
The 90s are long gone.
They are.
You know what was in the 90s? Saved by the Bell. They're still playing it, but it doesn't mean it's good.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
It's like the Dallas Cowboys. They're still playing. It doesn't mean they're good.
And even that,
They were one of my favorite teams beginning of the year. And then they became the Cowboys because, well, there's another coaching problem. McCarthy's a clown.
We might want to cover that next week. Get into that because
McCarthy a clown?
yeah, I mean they won against the Chargers and Dak looked a lot better. So I have nothing bad to say about Dak this week. But that's just this week. What about next week? Okay, like his track record leads me to talk the way I talk. I'm not talking this way for no reason. He threw 15 interceptions last year, buddy. Okay, he played a good game against the Chargers, but the jury's still out on him. Let's just see
Everyone
how he
plays a good
performs
game
this
against the Chargers because they have the second worst defense in the league.
week, which it makes no sense.
Because Brandon Staley that team's loaded with talent. I've never seen a more
And that's
talented
the
roster.
problem.
It's crazy.
That's the problem. Like I hate to kind of go down that road.
Bosa,
It makes
Derwin
no
James,
sense. J.C. Jackson.
No.
They
just
traded him, though,
because
didn't they?
it didn't fit. They didn't fit. Why? How does that guy not fit? I don't get it.
Doesn't
So,
make any sense.
but if you go look at their offense, they have Herbert, they have Keenan Allen, they have Austin Eckler, they have loads of talent, but they just can't. Something's holding them back, and it's the only thing that makes sense would be Brandon Staley. If this guy goes for it one more time and doesn't get it, I like.
What they should have
This guy
did,
has more
what they
chance.
should have did is they should have his ass should have been grass after that Jacksonville mess up in the playoffs, 27-0. That's when his ass should have been grass. They didn't want to do it. And now y'all paying for it. But
But I
that's
think-
probably going to conclude the show this week, guys. We will come back.
Yeah,
next
wait
week with
till
some
next
brand
week.
new
My
content.
stud and stud of the week. It's going to be a good little show. I'm going to have a little clip. You're going to love it. It's going to be hilarious.
Also, we're probably gonna start doing some giveaways next week for some things for the people who tune in. Probably once a week. It's still kind of under
Some
development.
cool stuff. We just had a meeting for a restaurant that we could possibly be doing
Oh,
a show
yeah,
in. We
yeah,
had a
yeah.
meeting with them yesterday, and it went pretty well. The manager loved us, thought we were cool, said everything looked. Message him, email him, and we're going to kind of get the word out and get going now that we've done this for the 5th time, and like everything's we're loving what we're doing. So
And as far as recording goes, have a set script because right now we kind of just
we've been winging it because we wanted to see how it flowed and how everything went.
exactly.
And I'll be honest, It flowed pretty well without any script.
We're doing okay.
We're gradually working into it, and it's kind
The
of
biggest thing is I love constructive criticism. I know you do too.
Oh, I wish somebody
because
give
we,
me some smoke.
we strive to be better individuals, right? So if you're listening to this, just leave some critique. I saw the comment for the tripod. You know, we need to bring a tripod up so we can get a better angle of us, which is true. So all those things are taken into consideration and are gonna happen. But we can't be better without feedback from you guys. So that's what we look for. And I just love coming here every week. Me and Tyler were talking yesterday when we're gonna try to figure out if we can land at a few bars around Jacksonville so you guys can pop up, have a beer with us. That
Oh
would be
yeah,
cool.
now we're gonna start drinking. Now it's gonna get weird.
You think he's bad now?
We'll do some shots, baby. Let's roll.
So we're just trying to constantly get better, have guests on the show. There's just so much that we're looking forward to.
We're gonna let people pop in and out of here. People just talk about their teams. Like if you just want to come in, pop up, and let's talk about your team. Whoever your team is, whatever questions you think you have, or just want to ask a question, or just talk about your team. Man.
Yeah.
Come on in.
And we're just trying to get better from
It's a
there.
blast,
So
man. We're just enjoying it.
this will conclude episode 4. Episode 5 will be next week, and we'll address that Chargers disparity, how they have so much talent, yet they aren't really connecting and getting wins. And we'll discuss this past week's football games.